That definitely was a classic. That was I'm Alright by Kenny Loggins. Do you remember that song? That right there, my friends, is a blast from the past. That, oh my goodness, I definitely remember that from when I was in high school. Right? That's when he was really popular. Kenny Loggins. I wonder whatever happened to him. He's probably still kicking around. I hope he's getting royalties or some sort of money from the hits that he did. You know, quite often you see these recording artists or movie stars that had really bad contracts back in the day, or maybe they were good at the time, but they ended up carrying on and not having any residual income from that, or royalties, or whatever you want to call it. So it's unfortunate that money, once again, is separating us, right? That's what money does. So it's unfortunate to see somebody that, you know, doesn't get the money that they duly deserve. That is for damn sure. And that would apply to him. That's definite, because we all know that song, even if you didn't know who Kenny Loggins is. I'm sure we all know that song. It was from Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. Although I'd heard it before then on my AM radio growing up, probably in some doctor's offices. That was back in the day when they used to be allowed to play music in the doctor's office. Have you noticed those days are over? That's because the doctors have to pay what they call SOCAN fees. Maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't. I don't know, but what you're going to know shortly is the good news. Lots of good things going on in the world, and it is time for me to share. So first of all, on an environmental level, this is very cool. One organization in Mexico City is making their city into a better place, one concrete pillar at a time. Via Verde is a project that is working to convert at least 1,000 gray highway pillars into vertical gardens that can soak up pollution and smog. The gardens are in an innovative way of beautifying urban spaces and absorbing CO2, heat, and city noise. The greenery has been shown to relieve symptoms of stress and anxiety in city residents, and the structural material used to make the gardens are constructed entirely out of recycled plastic. How cool is that? The project is also sustainable in more ways than one. The self-sufficient irrigation system of the gardens ensures that the plants are efficiently maintained by collecting rainwater instead of clean drinking water. The plant species are also specifically chosen for their urban benefits, such as having low water consumption and high resistance. Once the project is completed, the gardens will contain roughly 2.2 million plants for Mexico City's growth. Additionally, the gardens are being utilized as a source of social rehabilitation and job experience for local inmates. Men and women from the Santa Marta Acatatilla Women's Social Reintegration Center, wow, that's a mouthful, and Oriente Men's Preventative Detention Center, boy, I hope they have codes on their t-shirts, are responsible for weaving the hydroponic textile substrate, which provides them with valuable training and employment opportunities. How cool is that? And you know what, I have to tell you, it looks absolutely awesome. I'm going to post this, of course, on the Positive Power Facebook page. Check it out. There's actually a video that goes with it too, and it looks very, very cool. So, more positive stats about things that are going on in the world. This is really awesome. Fewer and fewer women are dying from childbirth than ever before, but the declining mortality rate is most notable in India. The World Health Organization, also known as WHO, released a new report on the country's groundbreaking progress in decreasing the maternity mortality rate. According to the article, India's MMR has fallen by roughly 77% over the last 2.5 decades. This translates to 130 deaths per 100,000 live births in 2016, as compared to the whopping 556 deaths per 100,000 live births from the 90s. There are a host of factors that have contributed to the exciting decline, but the most fascinating approach to preventing maternal mortality is the outreach work being facilitated by international nonprofit Save the Women. The organization's outreach work has had the most notable success in the village of Pura Bagan, the Ameth district of Uttar Pradesh. The region used to experience the highest rate of maternity death in the world, largely because village women had poor diets and high rates of anemia. Save the Women started training and deploying teams of 20 village women who would then educate their own communities on reproductive health. One such team leader told The Guardian that she has had great success in her outreach by changing the lyrics of romantic folk songs to reflect facts about nutrition, breastfeeding, birth control, and maternal health care. Since Save the Women has expanded their efforts to over 1,100 villages across India, their collective maternal mortality rate has fallen by a staggering 90%, with infant mortality down by 60% as well. Wow, those numbers are fantastic. The village of Purabagan has not experienced a single maternal death, which is reflected in the sign that they have hanging on the community reading, "We no longer die in childbirth." We're so advanced here in our first world country, we can't even imagine that being a real thing. The Indian government has taken several other legislative steps to protect their mothers too. There is now more coverage of maternal health and pregnancy services than ever before, which has led to 3 times as many deliveries in public health institutions rather than home births. Additionally, the state now funds free transportation and on-site delivery resources, which closes the gap between rural and urban pregnancies. Social factors such as literacy and female empowerment have also accounted for how women approach their pregnancies and health choices. Collectively, WHO says that these preventable measures have brought the MMR below the Millennium Development Goal target and puts the country on track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal target of an MMR below 70 by the year 2030. That is so absolutely awesome. We're so spoiled, I can't even imagine some of these things, affecting our life. But then we have different problems, don't we? We have other things that we face, like our opioid crisis that's going on right now, which leads me to my last story for the good news portion of the show. So this is pretty cool. In a world first, cannabis-based drugs are being compared to fentanyl as an alternative to breakthrough pain. The clinical trial is being facilitated by Sante Cannabis, an independently credentialed research organized based out of Montreal. The study will compare the effects of cannabinoids produced by Tetra Biopharma, a biopharmaceutical leader in cannabinoid-based drug discovery and development, in comparison to fentanyl, an opioid that's linked to hundreds of accidental overdoses in Canada. According to a statement from Tetra, there were at least 2,923 apparent opioid-related deaths between January and September of 2017. Of these overdoses, 92% were accidental, and 72% of them involved fentanyl or fentanyl analogs. Fentanyl is used as a treatment for breakthrough pain, a specific kind of severe pain that erupts while a patient is already medicated with a long-acting painkiller. This usually occurs in connection with cancer. The National Institute of Drug Abuse have called the opioids misuse a crisis that needs to be addressed. That is the understatement of the year. Patients suffering from breakthrough pain require fast relief. Overdosing from fentanyl may occur in patients who exceed the recommended dosage in the hope of obtaining a more rapid relief. The development of a THC-based alternative would help provide a safer option to those patients and help prevent overdosing on fentanyl, says Dr. Antonia Vigano, an attending physician and professor at McGill University and the research director of Sana Cannabis, where he is a principal investigator in a Phase 3 clinical trial for pain associated with advanced cancer, in addition to a Phase 2 trial for chronic pain. The PPP-001 drug has the potential to become the long-awaited alternative to opioids for the management of breakthrough pain in cancer patients. Through this trial, we're going to gather more evidence based on the safety, efficiency, and ease of administration of inhaled cannabinoids as the complementary therapy of choice for cancer-related pain said Dr. Vigano. So there you go, friends. Let's just legalize this, call it a day, and help some sick people. Hey, great idea, great idea. Are you high-fiving me? I feel that you are. So there you go. There's your good news for today. I hope you enjoyed it.